Coming up tonight on YCN News. Cold weather today leads to more area school closings. A woman's quarter horse is loose in Plainfield. And a New Hampshire ski jumper will join the Winter Olympics in Russia this February. For more news, weather, and sports, it's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region, southern Vermont, and Windsor County. News, sports, weather, and all that is happening in our area. The news on YCN, your local view.
Good evening, and welcome to this Friday edition of YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Bitter cold weather today with strong winds led to area school superintendents' decision to close school today. Schools in Sullivan, Grafton, and Cheshire counties are closed for the second day in a row. Some schools in Grafton County delayed the start of school today by 2 hours. Temperatures will be in the single digits tonight. Meanwhile, life goes on, including shoveling walkways along city streets. That's where Roger Colby was this morning on Claremont's Broad Street.
How is the snow? Is it heavier to lift or is it powder light?
The snow's kind of light. It's just hard compact in some spots because it's so cold.
Yeah. Is there ice under there too?
Oh yeah.
Winter is what you make of it. Whether snow shoveling or skiing, the 2014 winter season is just beginning. Animals also experience the snow and cold in different ways. A woman in Plainfield, New Hampshire, asks that anyone who sees a chestnut-colored quarter horse to let police know. The horse took off from Freeman Hill and Ledge Road in Plainfield around 11:30 a.m. Thursday. Any word or sightings are appreciated. After the break, we'll hear about New Hampshire's athlete participating in the upcoming Winter Olympics and a home burglary in Whiting, Vermont.
The YCN News continues in a moment.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Winter sports may not be for everyone, but most people look forward to watching other athletes perform, especially during the Olympics. Along with this year's cold weather comes the Winter Olympics. New Hampshire will send Nicholas Farrell of Andover to Sochi, Russia in February. Farrell will ski jump for the USA in his first Olympic Games. Recently, Farrell qualified for a spot at Park City, Utah. Farrell is a member of the Andover Outing Club. He cleared 96 meters in his jumps, the Associated Press reports. 6 ski jumpers will make up the U.S. Olympic ski jumping team. 2 other New Hampshire athletes competing for a team slot are Andover's Chris Lamb and Lebanon's Nick Alexander. The Olympic Games begin February 7th and run through February 23rd. And now time for a perennial winter favorite. New Hampshire's Fish and Game Department is offering ice fishing classes throughout the state. State fish and game leaders will work with area outdoor groups in a partnership as part of its Let's Go Fishing program. Enjoying the outside is a good way to recover from the hustle and bustle of the holiday season. Classes are free. Call and reserve a space. Classes are open to anyone, and anyone under age 16 must be accompanied by an adult. To learn more, go online at www.fishnh.com. All ice fishing classes include a hands-on indoor session. Students will learn about ice fishing equipment, safety and practices, and the winter ecology of lakes and ponds. A field trip to a local pond will allow participants to try out their skills. Classes will be held in Lebanon, Haverhill, and Grantham, plus at sites in the Lakes region and southeast corner of New Hampshire. Vermont State Police say a home burglary netted valuable coins and currency. A 66-year-old Whiting, Vermont woman found her home on Crosby Road vandalized around 8 p.m. December 30th. The door and door frame were damaged. On Thursday, the homeowner, Marilyn Chicoine, told police she discovered items from her home had been taken. These include silver certificates, U.S. silver coins, and Canadian gold-colored coins. The homeowner told police an octagon-shaped silver dollar also is missing. Anyone with any information on this case is asked to call Vermont State Police at 802-388-4919. Now let's continue with our series of predictions for 2014.
Thank you, Rose. And John, what else are you predicting to happen in New Hampshire for 2014?
Well, it's a New Hampshire story, but I think it starts somewhat in Vermont. You know, with Vermont Yankee closing, there's a lot of power that's moving off the grid. And that was a big story that we covered this year. And I think its legacy effect is going to be, and the attention that it causes in Northern Pass. So I think Northern Pass is going to be a big story. And I think the angle that I want to look at is, how do we recover that power? And is that really a leverage point in the Northern Pass story? Certainly Northern Pass hasn't gone away this year. It didn't go away the year before. I don't think it's going to go away in 2014. So I think that's one we'll follow, and I think its roots really spread into Vermont. So what else do you have for us for your predictions for the major stories in 2014?
In 2014, I expect to see more look into virtual classroom or online education for the K through 12, or at least 6 through 12 grade span, with class sizes diminishing and costs going up. I think both states, particularly Vermont, are going to look to see if this is a way to ensure high quality education with ramping up technology, and if it will improve students' quality of education as well.
And so do we see this as a story that's going to push that small schools getting together and having a few students from each school in a combined class online?
I think so. I think so. It would help with the budgets without, raising taxes too high, and still bring to voters' minds and residents' minds the needs to that, as much as someone might love the school that their parents and grandparents and great-grandparents went to, it's really time to think about educating kids in a new way.
Well, it's a great story, and I'll look forward to following it. And Rose, back to you.
Welcome back to YCN News. I'm Rose Spillman. Now Matt McDonald will have a look at our weather for the next 5 days, and he'll take a look at some local high school sports.
Thanks, Rose. Tomorrow we'll have highs in the 20s with a low of 7 degrees. Sunday temperatures should rise to a high of 34 degrees with lows in the 30s. Monday, be careful when traveling because we're expecting a mixture of rain and snow with highs in the upper 30s and lows around 0 degrees. Tuesday temperatures will drop again to a high of 5 and lows in the negatives, so be sure to dress warm. Wednesday should be sunny with highs in the 20s and lows around 5 degrees. If you're in the Hanover area this Tuesday, check out the combined performance of live music and dance at The Hop, featuring choreography by Bill T. Jones and music by the Borromeo String Quartet from 7 to 8 p.m. And now let's look at the Hanover girls hockey team's Schwann Cup game. We had to give the Hanover Marauder girls team credit for playing hard in these past couple of games. They didn't make it in the finals, but they sure had traveled through a great first half of their season. Wednesday's finals game had a final score of 7-0 with Achiever Academy from Minnesota winning the game. The Marauder girls still showed speed and determination throughout the game. The Marauders won the first 2 games of the Schwann Cup. Before the Schwann Cup began, Hanover won against the New York State champions of Beekmantown 6-0 on December 27th. All in all, Hanover is continuing their season with great success.
Thank you for joining us for this Friday edition of YCN News. Don't forget to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. And you can watch our programs anytime online at www.ycnnow.com. I'm Rose Spillman for YCN, your local view. Good night.